Today, on Be Something Wonderful, from months of no contact to 2 messages and a phone call within an hour. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. Big video today, so let's get started. I want to talk about 2 sessions I had yesterday. I had a lot of sessions, but I want to talk about 2 in particular that had to do with specific persons, right, that these clients wanted to be with, but also money and other things. And I just want to say that although we're going to talk a little bit about specific persons or SPs, it was about money, it was about everything they want. This lesson was huge. And so what happened? Well, in each case of these sessions, they contacted me right after the session. And one of them was to tell me, in my first session, the first one of that had to do, that I thought was pretty big, that her SP sent her a text right after the session. And then in the other one, the other session that I had, she wrote me immediately after to say her SP sent her 2 texts during the session and called. Her phone was off. That in her case, it was after months of no contact. I think in the other case it was weeks, but in this case it was months. As I want to really talk about this because this applies to anything you want, right? And of course these sessions were big. We talked about, I think they had questions on what's the difference between a desire from your head and a desire from your heart. Heart's desire versus a head desire. We're going to get into that today. But a big thing that really came out of this is that they believed there are conditions, or they believed there were conditions that had to be met before they could receive what they want. That they didn't have the free will to choose without any conditions being met to have their wish fulfilled. Do you see it? And we're not just talking about outer conditions of people, events, and circumstances, or inner conditions of those temporary thoughts and feelings that have to be reconciled or resolved before you feel you can get what you want. But even conditions of reality creation, feeling that they have to affirm or imagine, or they're putting conditions on that without just assuming and choosing what they want, right? Think about this. When you're needing and wanting something to be different, needing and wanting to be, saying, I have to be with this SP or else, or I have to have this money or else, or I need this or else. You're giving up your free will to choose. You're saying you don't have the free will to choose not to be with that SP or to choose not to have that money. Do you get it? There's something big. I'm going to really cover all of this today and more. 2 powerful sessions, specific people and money, but it was really about manifesting anything. Love and money, but really about anything. In both cases, they heard from them after the sessions immediately, saying my SP messaged me right after the session, and the other one, I got 2 texts and a call during the session. That's after months of no contact. And then interestingly, in that session, she said that her SP owed her $1,400. So he was arranging to pay her back as well as wanting to get together with her. Do you see this, guys? No contact. What changed? You did. Here's how. They were putting conditions ahead of fulfillment, right? Not assuming that they have the free will to choose, right? And I want it because this directly relates to the idea of heart's desires versus head desires. So let's get into all of it today and more. So is it a desire from my heart or from my head? This is one of the clients. Remember, desires from the heart come from the knowing that you lack nothing. That's what we mean by a heart's desire. It's not the specific desire, whether it's for an SP or money or a car or a house. God doesn't judge any of that. There's no judgments on those desires. The desires from the heart mean it's coming from the knowing that you lack nothing. It's coming from the assumption, hear this, of fulfillment. Right? They were wanting it, needing it, coming from the assumption of non-fulfillment, that they don't have it, right? Desires from your head come from the feeling, the thought or assumption of lack of the thing. Do you see it? But remember, you're only ever feeling what you're thinking, assuming. You're assuming lack. You're assuming you don't have it, right? Remember, you're just remembering wrong. Like Chris Kelvin, the character in the movie Solaris, said, I remembered her wrong. Somehow I was wrong about everything, right? Remembering that less than 0.1% of reality, that you're lacking something, that you're missing something, that you don't have something, that you're needing or wanting something. You're remembering it wrong. All possibilities exist. All versions exist. All memories exist. Because what is a memory? It's just a mental image. All mental images exist right now, past, present, and future. You can remember the future of fulfillment just as easy as you can remember the past of lack. Wow, that's powerful. So really, let's hit this. Memories are mental images. They're imaginal acts. I remember. That's why Neville got it when he talks about I remember when. That technique of remembering it differently, remembering how you want to remember it, revision, all that, right, is why that's so powerful. Because all those images exist. And when you remember anything, you're recreating it. You're re-experiencing it, right? It was just potential. Back into the infinite field of potential before you remembered it. Right? I remember, you're not simply recalling an event that happened in the past. You are creating it in that moment. Remember, creation's finished. Neville got it. Manifesting is about choosing what part of creation you desire to experience or re-experience next. Or in other words, remember. That's what creation is. It's not really about manifesting or creating anything. You're talking about choosing. Choosing what part of all that you are, what part of the evolution, you're a fully evolved being, that you want to re-experience or remember next, because you've done it all. You've experienced it all. Are you remembering lack or you're remembering fulfillment? That's the choice, right? So let's hit it. Desiring from your head focuses on the lack of a thing versus the feeling or experience of fulfillment. Do you see it? You're focused. The focusing from your head focuses on the lack. Focusing from your 3D personality focuses on the lack of a thing versus the feeling or experience of fulfillment. That comes from your heart, right? It's memories, imaginal acts of the past, or what you believe is the past, because remember, there is no past, present, and future. It's all now, are powerful because you believe them. We believe in our past. We believe in our memories, and we feel those. So we have a feeling or an emotion with those. That's why they're powerful, from that belief. You believe in the past, and the memories conjure feelings, emotions about that. So why remember those? Why remember things? Remember things that you want to remember. Remember things how you want them to be or wanted them to be, because they all exist. As opposed to focusing on memories of not having something or memories of not something working out, right? But you can remember the future of fulfillment. You can also remember the past of fulfillment. It all exists now. All memories or mental images exist right now. When you feel lack, you're remembering wrong. Like Chris Kelvin on Solaris, I remembered her wrong. Somehow I remembered it all wrong. I got it all wrong. You're believing and assuming in it, right? So all memories exist. You just don't remember. Do you hear it? You just don't remember. When you focus on the thing, you're focused on the memory of lack. This is why Neville got it and other spiritual teachers. They don't focus on the thing, on the desire. Focus on the fulfillment of it. Focus on the experience of fulfillment, right? You're focused on the memory of lack. You're remembering wrong, right? Of not already having it or being it. Yet you're remembering wrong, or no longer having it or being it, something that you believe you've lost. Remember, Neville Goddard said it's impossible to lose anything, right? You're just remembering wrong. When you focus on the experience of already having it or being it, you're remembering righteously. You're remembering the future of fulfillment and creating it right now. Wow. Right? And you could do that with the past as well. That's why revision is so powerful, right? Remember, it's not really about creating or manifesting my own reality. That implies lack, right? There's an implication there. I know we use it quite a bit, but even there's an implication of lack, that you have to manifest something. You get processes to get something, right? Choosing, instead you're choosing, it's choosing your experience of reality, choosing what part of all that you are you desire to remember, experience next or now. It's about choosing, right? Wow. Your greatest freedom is the free will to choose, right? Desiring from your heart is about choosing, not changing anything, right? You can't change anything. All scripts are written, right? All reality exists. It's unlimited and resistant free when you choose. What part of creation do you want to experience in this now moment? The only moment there is. There's one moment in creation. It's right now, right? Desiring from the head, the 3D world personality, always creates and implies lack, limitation, and the need to control the outcome. You're needing and wanting to have or be something else. I want to, or not, right? You're needing and wanting to have or not have, be or not be something else, right? I won't be happy or fulfilled until I have that, or until that doesn't exist, right? All of that. All that limits your free will to choose. You're implying you have no free will. That's what you're implying, that you don't have the free will to choose something else. When you need and want something, hear this, you're implying that you don't have the free will to have or be something else. When you need and want to be something or have something. That's powerful. I hope you're getting this message, because this really moved them clearly as their phones lit up right after and during the sessions. In your needing and wanting to have or be something, or to not have or not be something, you're implying you don't have the free will to choose something else big. I just want you to see this, soak this up for a second. I've touched on this in other videos, right? You're needing and wanting to have or be something or not have or be something. You're implying that you don't have the free will to choose something else. That's what attachment really means, right? Freedom to choose equals fulfillment or desiring from the heart. Needing or wanting and longing for something implies non-fulfillment or lack, or desiring from the head or the 3D personality. Needing and wanting something implies you can't choose. You don't have the freedom to choose to not have it or not be it, and vice versa. Wow. This is such a powerful message today. Do you get it? That's what that needing and wanting implies. So when you move to go, I do have the freedom to choose, unconditionally choose what I want. There are no conditions, no inner conditions that I have to feel a certain way or think a certain way, no outer conditions that people, events, and circumstances have to be right, and there's no reality creation conditions. I have to affirm a certain way or imagine a certain way. I just got to choose it from from knowing that freedom that it's already mine. That's powerful, right? So creating or manifesting your own reality is really about choosing. Choosing what part of that one moment of now in creation, it's done, remember, you desire to experience or remember next. Because remember, it's about remembering. It's all done. Past, present, and future exists right now. Right? That's why Jesus said it's your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. That's God's will, that you have the kingdom. That's God's will. God's will for you is your will. Someone asked, what's the difference? How do I know it's God's will or my will? Well, God wills for you what you will for you. Right? God's will that you have the kingdom, but God doesn't get in the middle of your free will. You have the free will to choose. That's what God gives you. That's what God wants for you. You have the freedom to choose. God's will for you is your will. The free will to choose, the free will to intend, the free will to desire or remember what part of fulfillment you want to experience now. Wow. I need and have to have him, right? That we get in this all the time with SPs or her, right? Implies or else I won't be happy and fulfilled. Condition, right? Implies lack of free will to choose not to have him or something else. Do you get it? When you say I need to have someone, her, or I need to be with them, I need this person, I need to be in this relationship, it implies your lack of free will to choose to not have him or something else, right? It's limitation and contraction that creates attachment. I can't choose because I have to have this. I need this. I can't choose something else because I have to have this. Wow, that's powerful. Instead of looking at conditions, your current 3D experience of reality, and wanting, needing, and desiring it to be different, hear this. Imagine, choose, create, and remember your ideal experience of reality. Know they are different, right? Know they are different. So instead of imagining that you want them to be different, know they are different. There's different realities. They're impotent. So instead of wanting and needing it to be different, choose it. And know that they're different. Know that choice is different. That's powerful. And we came up with this idea. They were talking, one of them had a question on this Abraham Hicks thing about specific versus going general. Well, really, that's bottom up again. Bottom up, trying to feel better, manifesting. I'm going to go general because I'm trying to resolve my feeling. I don't feel good when I go specific. And so you're trying to resolve your thoughts and feelings again. You're trying to get the conditions right. It's always about going specific. But what are we being specific about? Not attachment to the desire. That's what we're talking about. Be specific about the experience of your new reality. Be specific from the new identity. Be specific from the viewpoint or version of yourself. Be specific from the viewpoint of I am that, or I choose that. Right? The unlimited, multidimensional being versus the limited, contracted 3D personality. I know what the spiritual teachers are getting at there. They're trying to release the resistance. But again, you're just putting conditions on it. Just go that wait a minute, I get to choose what I want, period. Right? Be specific about the experience, not your attachment to the thing, that I got to have this or else. Right? Have it come from that place of fulfillment. That place of knowing that it's already yours, right? Focus. So again, being versus the limited contracted personality. Focus and intention, remember, creates reality. Being detached and free from attachment is not about not focusing on it. I think one of you mentioned, and even one of my clients they say, it's not about not focusing on it. Focus and intention creates reality. You want to focus on it. So it's not your focus that creates attachment. Right? What is it then? The attachment comes from a lack of fulfillment. It comes from your focus on needing and wanting it. It comes from separation. Right? Either you're focused on separation or unity, lack or fulfillment, smallness or greatness. Do you see it? That's what we're talking about. That's the true definition of detaching. It comes from fulfillment. It comes from unity. It comes from greatness. Not from lack, not from separation, not from feeling small. Wow. From months of no contact to messages and a phone call in an hour. That's how it was done. That's how it's done with anything you want to create. Anything. Money, physical changes, better health, another house, a new job, a different career, a company you want. It's all there. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking, sharing, and commenting on the videos. We have a Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. You can join that and share insight and guidance with others and ask for insight and guidance. We have an Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, or just go to our website anytime at tomkearin.com or besomethingwonderful.com for all that information. You can also join our membership channel with more content and live streams there. There's a link below to join that. Thank you, creatives. Thank you for being with me with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin with Be Something Wonderful. We'll see you soon.